Hey, what's up? My name is Tackless, and today we're going to be looking at a Project Spark tutorial on how to make and sell pets. And this is a pretty fun tutorial, pretty lightweight and happy, but we're going to be creating a pet that follows you around, that'll fight for you, and will die and has a respawning mode. Because, you don't want your pet to die for reals. So, I've made a fancy little interface over here. We're not going to go into the fancy interface. We're going to go into the simple interface. But first, I need money. So... Money! Money! Sorry, I made that and it's a lot of fun. So we're going to look at, this is the complex interface. Would you like to buy a pet? Open it up. I can choose what color I want. I'm going to go with red. Here's my buddy. My buddy's pretty cool. He's kind of slow, but he's pretty cool. He chirps. Now I'll go over a few things in his code. When he's near me, he wants to get close to me. When he's not near me, the only thing he does is he wants to run to me. But when he does get near me, every 1 to 5 seconds, he'll jump. So hold on, let me get away from him a little bit, and then get back near him, and then he'll jump. There we go. That's to get him, like if he's stuck somewhere, or if he just wants to have a little bit of personality, But let's look at his combat. He's not exactly the biggest, greatest fighter ever, but he does hold his will pretty on. Since I don't want the pet dying constantly, he has a ton of health. He's fairly weak, but he can really dish out the pain, and he does not hit with a hit reaction, because then he would just be kind of like a mobile stun grenade. So, pretty cool, huh? I would show you his death and respawn sequence, but that's going to take a long time to hurt him that much. So, let's get into the tutorial. First things first, I'm going to grab a horned toad model. Actually, I'm going to grab this guy because he's blue. I'm going to delete all of his code, but you can make it, you can use any model you want, and you can use any colors you want. But I'm going to delete page, delete page. There we go. So now all we have is this pretty blue guy. First, we're going to have the purchase screen. So, when detect player, and then child lines of code. We detect player, then let's see. We're gonna have him say would. Come on. Oh boy. My keyboard was just working. Okay, there we go. Would you like, oh my goodness, whatever, like to buy a pet? Now, it's not a bad idea to put a price on here, but since I have to type it with my controller, just ask if you want to buy a pet. And I'm going to make the style a text box. Then, when, let's see, when interacted, more child line of code. First, we need to establish a player variable. Player equals it. Next, when player coin counter, which if you don't have the coin counter, open up a coin and it'll appear, or just type in coin space counter, greater than or equal to 10. So we're going to charge 10 coins for this. Then started to player coin counter decremented by 10. And as a result of your purchase, switch page, next page. The next page is where we're going to be putting the brain of the pet. But when player coin counter less than 10. We're going to do started to play sound alarm. So that's a pretty good sound. And we're going to make it overlapping. There we go. So this is pretty much the purchase screen. Let's make sure that that works. So I don't have any coins right now. It says I can't buy a pet. But then, when I get coins from the sky... Oh, there we go. There's more coins. Like to buy a pet. Then we're on to the next page where it doesn't do anything, and I'm out of 10 coins. So, looks like our shop bid is working perfectly. Next comes the actual pet brain. Next page... And we're going to be doing a lot of this with detection. But first, we need to establish what team he's on. So once team equals team 1, or whatever team your player is on. Then, first we're going to do when he's not detecting the player. So when not detect player... Then move toward player. And then countdown timer of, let's do like 5. 5. Oh, first, we need to establish, you know what, let's just go up here. We need to establish the player variable again. So object player equals player. So then, let's see, back down here, we're going to do position equals player position. Now, I like to add a little poof here sometimes, but the more I've been playing with my pet, the more I find that kind of annoys me, and I just kind of want him to appear without any poof. So you can add a poof if you want, or not, whatever you want. This is pretty much how long he will be away from you before he teleports to you. So, this is what he does when he's not detecting you. Let's do what he does when he does detect you. When detect player, when not detect enemies, then, let's see, down here we're going to put his like jumping line of code and all that. So, started to, let's do a number variable called like random. Random equals random number between 1, 2, let's do like 5. 1 to 5 as integer. Next, we're going to do countdown timer random. And then started to jump. Oh, that's under movement. Jump. And I want to make him chirp when he does this. So another started to play sound. Gonna go to objects. I'm gonna search Toad. If it lets me. Toad. There we go. That's a pretty good sound. And overlapping. Next, along with the jump, I want him to slowly move towards the character. So move toward player, but slowly. So at speed 0.5. There we go. So when he detects the player, which means pretty close to him, even though that detection radius, it's not a bad idea to make that a little bit bigger than average. When he detects the player and does not detect enemies, he will move slowly towards the player, and after 1 to 5 seconds, he will jump and make the little chirp sound. Now, when he does detect enemies, he needs to move toward it and child line of code, attack it without hit reaction. There we go. So we've got the basics of our code down pretty darn well. When he detects an enemy, he'll move toward them and attack them without hit reaction, which for pet is fairly important. Let's see. We've gone over this. Finally, let's go over the death sequence. So when is dead, we're going to switch page, next page. On this page, we are going to, for the duration of like 4 seconds, let's see, we're going to display let's see if my keyboard will work for me. Come on. Come on. Whatever. I'm going to exit out of this and just go to the text. Pretty much you want to write, your pet has died, go to the spawn to pick him back up. Man, I have a lot of text. Your pet has died. Go pick him up at the spawn. And because this is supposed to be important, it goes in the center of the screen. In large font, in red. There we go. Then we're going to count down for 1 second. After 1 second, we're going to teleport him. So position equals, now I've placed a logic cube near the spawn for respawning my player. So I'm going to select this logic cube. If you haven't put a logic cube down, put a logic cube down wherever you want your player to, or your pet to spawn, and select that logic cube. Then it goes logic cube position. Then let's see. After the countdown of, let's do just like 1.5. Oh, no, not that. Stop selecting that. Let's see, 1.5. Do revive. Oh, not heal. We need to do a full-blown revive. And finally, so you can come pick him back up, when detect player, do 2 things. First, we want him to recognize the player. So, started to play sound. Let's do that one. Overlapping. And then switch page, previous page. So the idea is that it'll display for 4 seconds, so your pet has died, you need to go save him. After a second, it'll teleport the pet back to the spawn. After a second and a half, it'll revive your pet. And then the pet will do nothing until you go and find the pet. When the pet has been found and detects the player, it'll chirp and go back to this page and be a good old pet once again. Now, I also had a couple of health bars that I threw in there. So when detect enemy, we're going to throw in a health bar here so that you know how your little guy's doing. So display meter health. And because I put the health I put the health of my pet at 350 because I wanted him to be super hardy. But I'm going to leave this at 100. So let's do max 100. Come on. 100. Change this number to whatever health your pet is going to have. You can make your pet super squishy and have 10 health. But that'd kind of make it a pointless pet. Let's see. Then I want this to be blue, because we're playing with a blue toad right now. And finally, I want the scale of this to be a little bit smaller than a normal bar, because normal bars are kind of huge. So we're going to put it at 0.75. There we go. Now, you could also have another bar that displayed when the health gets low under not detect enemies. But I'm not going to go into that right now. So, let's give our little guy a whirl. Oh, hey, look at that. More downloads. So there's our guy. We can't buy him right now because we don't have money. Now we've got money. There, we got enough now. So I want to buy a pet. And he's mine. And you see, he jumped. So now he'll follow me around because he's awesome like that. Now he's not very slow, or he's not very fast. So it wouldn't really take much for him to get left behind and teleported. But let's see this guy in action. Doesn't appear that he's taking much damage at all. I'm gonna have to rummage through his settings and see if I made him invincible or something earlier. But that's how he functions. Let's go take a peek at his settings, because there's a few settings I wanted to tweak anyways. So let's open this guy up. Properties, oop, a little bit close. Combat. Oh, it's still at 350, so let's put that back to 100. That was the problem. He's not invulnerable, he's not immortal, and you need to have the destroy after death turned off. We don't need to, but it's a good idea. And let's put his movement up to like 7, so he can keep up with you. Let's give him another whirl. Can't buy him. Get the money dump. If you guys are interested on how to make that, leave a comment below and I'll show you guys how to make it. It's actually really simple once you figure out how. So, would you like to buy a pet? I'd love to buy a pet. So now he's my buddy. And looks like he's keeping up with me a little better. So, now watch. He will ignore the enemies as long as he's not within my detection radius. But when I'm close, then he'll fight for me. Oh wow, looks like we're getting some traffic. Now for whatever reason, he tends to draw aggro over me. And it may just because he's attacking and I'm not. But I'm going to let him die if that is going to happen anytime soon. Oh. Looks like my stone guy is a tiny bit buggy still. See, he's still going at it. Oh, he's almost gone. And your pet has died. Go pick him up at the spawn. So I don't know if you just heard that, but I heard a revive. Here's our buddy. See? Recognize me? And he's ready to go again. So, that's how you can make a pet. If you wanted to, you could make his health slowly regenerate over time, or you could come up with some sort of mechanic to feed him. I just have this handy little respawning sequence. But I hope this was helpful. Thanks for watching. I know pets is something that when I first started playing Project Spark, it's something I really wanted to make. So, I hope this was helpful. Thanks for watching. I will see you guys.